So it started last Sunday, April 13th, and went on for a week. And it's finally over in most places in Thailand anyway. That's right. It's the Songkran festival, the most important event on the Buddhist calendar, a water festival marking the beginning of the traditional Thai New Year, where people indiscriminately throw water at each other as part of a tradition that supposedly symbolizes the washing away of bad luck and welcoming the new year. At this time, almost 750,000 tourists from around the world come to participate in this event and get the opportunity to run around letting off steam, reliving their youth, drenching each other in water, and generally just having a good time. Now, depending on your age and stage in life, this might not necessarily appeal to you, but when in Rome, immerse yourself in the culture and just get on with it. I was baptized by this special water last Sunday as I walked back from Jomtien food market with my large pizza in one hand and my avocado smoothie in the other. Now, I decided to hail down a 10 baht bus to take me home quicker by standing in front of it until it stopped. I clambered on and joined around half a dozen other people that were already on it. Moments later, the traffic ground to a halt, and out of nowhere, a dozen buckets of water were thrown full pelt straight at us from every angle. And as we sat there absolutely drenched, I could see water running out of the corner of my pizza box. And whilst I sat there contemplating in those moments the thought of having pizza soup, a delightful, over-enthusiastic person with a water fetish poured a water hose directly at us and fired it across each person. Now, under normal circumstances, our reactions would have been very different, but because this was the beginning of the Songkran festival, and they were actually locals, we all sat there laughing with stupid big grins on our faces like it was the best thing ever. I'd indeed been initiated. I was a fully fledged member of the Songkran Victims Club. Eventually, the bus approached my destination. I pressed the buzzer. The driver pulled over. I got off and paid in his 10 baht as he laughed uncontrollably at my soggy pizza box. As I continued walking back to my condo residence, I noticed that my avocado smoothie had gone missing. Somehow, in an attempt to dodge the jets of water, I'd either misplaced it or thrown it probably across the floor of the 10 baht bus. Never mind. I said, I'm in their land, and this is part of their culture, and so that's the end of that. Now, during the course of the following week, no matter how strategic I was in trying to avoid this happening, as I attempted to go get my dinner every evening, I came back soaked. On one occasion, I'd almost made it all the way back without a single drop of water touching me, only to find that as I turned the last corner, two girls with buckets lying waiting for unsuspecting victims just like myself. Now, one of them, however, did have the decency to ask me whether I wanted the water flowing over me or not. But before I had time to respond, they had both done their worst anyway. One way or another, you just couldn't escape it. And at the end of the day, it's all about having a bit of fun. Now, okay, not everybody wants to be drenched in water when they're going out for dinner, but when you take a look around and you can see both the young and old walking around soaked with smiles on their faces, you realize that it's all part of the festival shenanigans. It's not like it's 2 degrees in January or February and you're on your way to work wearing a suit. You're in shorts and a t-shirt and flip-flops in 30-degree heat. What the hell does it really matter? So as the days roll by, you actually start to get into it a little bit. It's all good fun. Now, here in Jomtien, we experienced a slightly more toned-down version from the full-on absolute chaos that was witnessed on the streets of Pattaya, where Westerners, fueled by alcohol and various other substances, take it upon themselves to tear around with supersized water guns as if they were all the aqua version of Rambo, indiscriminately blasting each other with high-powered jets of water from water weapons. A warning was given by the authorities that a certain kind of water gun that works from extra high pressure is banned and that they will be confiscating them immediately, as there have been several reports of victims losing their eyesight because of it. Now, what really concerned me was the casual attitude of people hurling water at each other on the road, with people doing 30, 40, 50 miles an hour on scooters. A blast of a bucket of water in your face at that speed and a momentary loss of vision could potentially lead to something very serious. I'd be very curious to see just how many incidents actually occurred across the country as a result of this festival. I can imagine that there were many, but it is what it is. There's just no escaping it. But in the main, most people had a lot of fun, and as you can see by the following footage, it was all in good spirits with a party atmosphere for families, the young and old alike. On Saturday, the actual festival day itself, I got the 10-bar bus and sat as close to the driver compartment as possible, which just gives it the impression that the bus is empty, so nobody usually bothers to throw water at it. Shortly after, a Thai woman in her 50s unknowingly sat at the opposite side at the end of the bus in full view of any would-be attackers. I tried to motion her to sit closer to where I was, but she wasn't having any of it. And as we approached the traffic lights, there were groups of water throwers that lay in wait for this exact opportunity. And out of nowhere, they threw buckets of water all over this poor woman who got absolutely soaked from head to toe. And as she sat there dripping wet, I again motioned her to come and sit closer to me at the right side of the bus. But again, she just wasn't having any of it. And as we approached the next set of traffic lights, exactly the same thing happened. Oh well, it's all good fun. Obviously, you have to be very careful when venturing out into the chaos with certain items such as mobile phones, and most people have theirs in a protective plastic cover or bag of some sort. And as you will see from the little tiny bits of footage that I managed to piece together when I was brave enough to get my phone out, it just gives you a little bit of an idea of what it was like with lots of people having good fun and good spirits in a great atmosphere. So enjoy.